There we go. We're live. Cool.
We're live?
Yeah.
We're definitely live.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Okay, great. Welcome, everyone, to the Cardboard Box Item Live. I am Steve, and I am joined by my two compadres, Sean Moher.
Hello.
Say hello. And Michael Pender.
Hello.
Who also said hello and ruined it, but there you go. So a little bit of housekeeping before we get started. We are kind of rejigging the format of this a little bit. Long-time listeners to our podcast might notice that we're fairly sporadic for uploading stuff, and the reason for this is it's a fair bit of work to come up with topics and that kind of thing, and we have busy schedules, what with like jobs, girlfriends and Tamagotchis. So basically we're going to reformat this into something a little more casual. So we're going to try and upload something every month. Basically we're just going to talk about the games we're playing, our thoughts on it, a little bit of gaming news, and that's it. And for those, hoping that we'll have bigger projects, those will be reserved pretty much exclusively for YouTube. So we will still have bigger projects like that, but it's all going to be on YouTube. This is just the podcast. It's casual. It's banter. Did I forget anything?
Well, we're also segueing into a race around the world.
Of course. How could you forget? Yeah.
So that's
and I've got a massive head start being in Japan because I presume we're starting like from the UK.
It's they're in China this year actually. So it's boring as fuck. But you summed everything up there, man. Perfect.
Yeah, thank you. I need the gratification.
Very well spoken.
So we're going to talk about just a couple of games, not everything necessarily, but just the games that we want to talk about the most. Who wants to kick us off? Does anyone have anything in particular they really want to talk about?
I'll go first then, since it's cool. Sean's just staring at
sorry,
me.
yeah, no, I can go, yeah.
Okay, you do it then.
I thought that was the plan.
There is no plan.
Cool. So we're basically just talking about kind of the last few games we've played and what we think about them. So let me just get my video up here for the first one, if I can find it. The first one, I just recently finished South of Midnight. I don't know if either of you have played it.
Oh, cool. Okay. I've heard of it, but I haven't played it. You may tell me about the graphics. That's the main thing I want to hear about.
Is this because of the stop motion thing? Or Yeah, so weirdly, let me get the video up here actually so you can see a bit as well. Weirdly, the...
Well, it's got that stop motion thing going on.
Sorry, you can talk.
I'm just going to talk while Sean's fucking hemming and hawing there.
Yeah,
sorry. Fiddling with wires.
Live, guys, we're live. Come on.
That did look really cool in the trailers. Like, it looked very unsettling. It's weird because it's not really a horror game as far as I can tell. Sean, you can correct me on this if I'm wrong. But it has that.
Sorry.
Good stuff. But it seems to have that weird, like slightly strange and off-putting stop motion thing. But from what I understand, this is just like an effect. They just like made it like this. This isn't like actual claymation that's been transposed or anything like that.
No, so there's an opening cutscene, not the one that's on screen now, but there's an opening cutscene where it's really stop motion, and in all the trailers and stuff beforehand, it looked that way as well. It looked like they're trying to imitate that stop motion art style, or like claymation, as you said. But in the actual like minute-to-minute gameplay, it's not that apparent. It's like sometimes it's weird. Like sometimes your character and other characters will have a little bit of jitterness to them, but it's not constant. The one place where it is constant is in the mouth movements, which is really weird when everything else is fine. It was I forgot about it pretty quickly, but at the beginning it was a little bit jarring, and I was like, I kind of wish they had it was almost like they were in between styles.
Yeah, so they picked a lane a bit more and gone full with the stop motion style rather than... Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
I think it was about 12 to 14 hours it took me to finish it. And gameplay wise, it was like a bunch of parkour, like traversal mechanics, and then the combat was like arena combat. So a lot of the time, like you would just be going from A to B, but then you would come across kind of like an obvious area where once you go into it, it closes the area off and enemies spawn. And then you need to defeat all the enemies before you can progress.
That kind of annoys me when that happens.
That's one complaint I've seen from other people about the game as well, is that it's like it's really obvious when you're going to go into combat, and the combat can get a bit repetitive too, because you learn all your abilities pretty early on in the game. So as you progress, you can upgrade them, but you don't really discover anything like groundbreakingly new as you go through it. So it was kind of just like. Yeah, it was a good game, a solid game, I'd say. Nothing amazing, but like I did enjoy my time with it. And I will say like the themes and the story and stuff were really interesting. Like it's based on kind of southern like folklore and stuff like that.
Southern Gothic, isn't it?
Yeah, so like the kind of creatures and enemies you come up against like are like based in that kind of folklore. And each story, like as you progress through the game, you kind of meet people in the world and learn their stories. And they're often like really heartbreaking, like dark stories, which I didn't expect when you kind of see how colorful the game is and stuff.
Did you cry?
It brought a tear to my eye once or twice. Not gonna lie, but
it's a hay fever, man.
It's a brave man who can admit that. Fair play.
Just to shout out, there's another. It was on my mind when you were saying stop motion. There's a game that just came out that like is actual stop motion. I think they animated clay.
Wow.
I think it's called The Midnight Walk.
Yeah, that rings a bell. Yeah.
And that's been getting pretty good reviews. Well. But I think they commit more to that art style because like it's actually animated that way rather than being what I presume is like 3D rendered with just a weird frame rate or something like that.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a decent enough game. Like it's if you're looking for that combat is hack and slash, and if you're looking for something like relatively short and like solid, it's it's a decent game.
It looks a lot like the adventure games of the PS3 era and the Xbox 360 kind of thing.
Yeah, it did kind of make me like think of that generation 100%.
Yeah. Which is like, it's weird. I think we're just about getting into that nostalgic realm now where people are starting to get a little bit nostalgic for that, which is weird to me because I still remember that so clearly. Before you finish up, I heard that the music in this is incredible.
It's sick, man. Yeah. Like they completely encapsulate that southern vibe. Like I can't remember when the game is set. I think it might be modern times, but there's a lot of like kind of throwbacks in it to like mid 20th century and stuff. And yeah, the music's incredible. I recommend just go and listen to it on Spotify. It's really good. A lot of like vocalized music tracks as well, which is like, well, I guess it's becoming more common in games, but a lot of the tracks in this have vocals, which is pretty cool.
That's weird. That sometimes doesn't work for me, but like it depends on the context.
I think because like I was saying, a lot of the game, the combat is in arenas, so between that is just traversal, so it works well in those at those points in the game, and also during boss fights it works pretty well too. So yeah, pretty cool. South of Midnight, check it out. My next game that I've been playing, just finished this a couple of days ago.
That's not how we're doing this, Sean. Do you not remember what we were talking about just before we started?
Oh, I'm so sorry.
We're going to move this on to someone else.
God, how dare you?
So sorry. I must have been like buried in technical arrogance.
Jesus Christ.
And they're not even that good technical details. I know.
Hey, Steve, you wouldn't be here right now if it wasn't for me.
I think all jokes aside, I do think less of you as a man now.
And on that bombshell, let's toss this over to Michael. Michael, tell us what have you been playing recently?
It's a bit of a mixed bag for me in terms of how much I enjoyed everything, but I'll start with the thing I enjoyed the most, which is Klonoa 2, which I was playing recently, and I finished it a few weeks ago. So like it's not one I had a lot of nostalgia for because I'd never really played it when it initially came out. I think I played a demo of one of the levels one time, but so I was coming into it with fresh eyes. And when I first started up, I was like, I have this written down, this exact quote: fuck this. This is a kids game for fucking kids, and it's so easy and boring, and the story fucking sucks. But
wait, did you play the first one? Just wondering.
I played a little bit of it before I played this one, but then I skipped because I bought them both. They were like a twin pack.
They come in a collection, yeah.
But for some reason, I was like, I remember playing that demo of Klonoa 2, and I remember enjoying it. And I think it was one of the boarding levels was the demo that I played. So I was like, oh, let me get to that part anyway, and I'll see what it's like. So I started the game, and at first I'm like, it's so bright, and like I hated the character designs and the stuff like. The new versions that are on PS5 have a fast forward feature where you can fast forward the cutscenes times 5. So I was doing that for every cutscene. But I have to say,
I remember doing that as well. Sorry to interrupt. Yeah, I played this too, and I just remembered. Yeah, I did the same, which is really bad considering that's something like the first time I played it, you want to fast forward through it.
Yeah, it was just nonsense. They all speak in like, I don't know, really high pitched kidsy voices, and it was just so annoying, but it really grew on me over time. Like each level is introducing a new mechanic. That's sort of like, it takes a while, but it gradually gets to be like a really interesting hybrid sort of game between puzzle and platformer, with some like really inventive mixes of both of them throughout the levels, I have to say, and like relatively challenging at times as well. Not very challenging, but you know, keeps you on your toes. The boarding sections are brilliant as well. I really enjoyed them throughout. They're all fantastic. And like I think it culminates in the final level, which I think is like peak puzzle platforming. Like it was just so well designed. I really enjoyed it. But
I'm trying to remember, what's the last level again? Like,
oh god, I couldn't tell you where you are. You're in like some because I was
like a nether dimension kind of thing.
Yeah, I was fast forwarding the story, so I didn't have a fucking clue what was going on. So suddenly, like 1 minute you're at a theme park and it's all clowns, and then you're in like the 9th level of hell, and you're like,
who hasn't had a birthday like that though? To be fair,
I don't know how we even got there to the point where when I defeated the final boss or whatever, I said, okay, I'll watch the final cutscene, and I had no idea what was going on. It was like some little girl thing. Rabbit is talking to Klonoa, I presume. I don't even know if he's called Klonoa, and is saying like, "Thank you so much, but we must part ways." And it's really melancholy. Like it's that classic. I think Japanese games do this a lot, where it's like a fun platformer thing, and then they have this like really sad moment at the end of the game where she's saying, "We must part ways. Thank you for freeing the Eldalon crystals," or whatever the fuck you were doing throughout the game. And then he slowly walks away.
You should write reviews for children's TV shows. Like honestly, that would just be amazing.
I know, but
whatever the fuck.
It was really good. Actually, I enjoyed it a lot more than I thought. I'm glad I stuck with it, I have to say.
Would you go back and play the first one or finish it?
Maybe. I'm not fucking jumping out my skin to do it or anything, because like I don't know. Is it going to be better?
Well, yeah, I don't know. Looking at the footage, because I haven't got around to this one yet, but the first, it looks a lot like the first, I guess. Like I guess there's the boarding sections and stuff are different. Like that's something new they've added.
Oh, there's no boarding. Well, it's instantly going to be better then. Like, but yeah, I did. I really enjoyed it, I have to say.
Class.
Yeah, I've played both of these, and yeah, I can tell you right now, you probably wouldn't enjoy the first one if you like the boarding, because like the boarding is almost a third of this game, if I remember right. Like every single world has a boarding level in it,
pretty much.
And I think they were like pretty much selling it on the boarding, which to be fair is great. It works really, really well. The first game has none of that, and it's definitely a slower game. I prefer the second one. But it's weird that you mentioned the melancholy though, because the first game has like the grimmest ending you can imagine that is like, it's totally goes against like the art style. And I guess, do you mind if I tell you like what happens at the end?
I don't care.
Like,
spoilers for anyone who doesn't want to know how the first Klonoa game ends, but basically it turns out that you are just like a dream that was invented by your little ring friend character, brought into this world to basically save them. And once the world is saved, it's like, right, you need to wake up now and disappear. And that's how Klonoa 2 starts. He wakes up in like that world.
How is he another dream though? Somebody needs to talk to Klonoa about this.
Streamception, man.
Get him on the line, man. But
yeah,
that's it. Okay, Steve, what's your game?
Okay, so I've been on a bit of a JRPG buzz recently, and I got the Collection of Mana series on the Switch a while ago, and I finally got around to playing the last game on that, the Trials of Mana. Just very, very quickly, I want to say, like, I played the Secret of Mana game, which is the one that everybody like loves and says is the greatest thing ever, and I really bounced off it. Like, did not enjoy that game really at all. Trials of Mana kicks ass. Like, it is so good. Cool. It's I don't think I'd quite put it up there with Chrono Trigger and Final Fantasy VI, but it's close. Like, it's very close. It's a really, really good game. Just for the listeners' benefit, and probably for Sean's as well, because I imagine you don't know this. The first game in this series was Final Fantasy Adventure, a Game Boy spin-off of Final Fantasy. And then it just spun off into its own thing.
Oh, wow.
And the reason it kicks ass is because the battle system is just so much fun. Like, I think you can see on screen now, like, you're just fighting this like gigantic minotaur thing that's climbing over a tower. Like, the bosses are amazing. They're like really screen filling, like incredibly beautiful sprites. And like, it's all kind of, it's not really turn based. You do have turns, but you also have like attacks. It's kind of similar to Final Fantasy Remake in a way, actually, that you can just attack normally, but you've also got special attacks that you have to line up. You know what I mean?
Yeah, to be honest, looking at this footage, right, agree with the sprite work. It's amazing. It looks cool. I like the framing of the boss. The fucking menu seems like it's going to give me a seizure when all these symbols just fly in and out of the screen. And I'm like, what am I even like?
I will say that looking at it now, I agree with you. They build up to this slowly. You like, when it starts off, you've just got items, just one menu, and then gradually you'll get one ability, and then like this guy that we're looking on the screen, he's a late game boss. So like all the ability, like, you have basically all your abilities at this stage are close to it. But yeah, it's tons of fun. I never stopped being tired of the battle system, and it was just one of those ones where random battles never bothered me because it was so much fun to just like keep whacking things. You get a special move, like if you hit something 3 times you get a special move, but if you hit it another 3 times you get an even stronger special move, and if a further 3 times you get like your ultimate special move. So it's kind of like balancing that as well on top of all your spells and abilities too.
Is there, just thinking about this, is there a JRPG you love that has like a bad battle system? Or not even a bad, but like just like an uninteresting.
Final Fantasy VIII, I guess. That's not bad. Well, no, sorry, that's not. It's an interesting one, but it's like completely broken.
Yeah, that's true. And maybe that's the fun of that one as well, is that you can fuck around with it and get super powerful. But yeah, that looks cool. I think what threw me off is this art style. I'm not really the biggest fan of, I would say.
I will say, because I was put off by this as well. If you've played Secret of Mana and you like that, this is better. I'll say that much. If you played Secret of Mana and didn't like it like I did, this could very much win you over. It starts off slow, unfortunately, but after about 2 or 3 hours, it just picks up and it never goes down again. It's just like, it's constantly good right up to the end.
I gotta say, the only thing I know about Secret of Mana is it has my favorite cover art of all time. Is the character standing in front of the big green and the red bird is flying across. It's just like really beautifully framed.
It's very evocative, yeah.
That's all I know.
The Trials of Mana 1, unfortunately, isn't as good. It's just like all your characters. Oh, that's another thing. Like, you can pick from like 6 characters, so it's got good replayability, and like that changes the story depending on who you pick. So yeah, it's good. Very last thing I wanted to say on that was, damn, there was a really important point, and it's just fallen out of my head now.
Is it? Is there a boarding section in it?
There is not, unfortunately. It's the story is probably the only thing that I have to say is kind of it's a simple story, and that's fine, but it's a bit kiddie. Like, and in a lot of ways, like, you can when I was fighting the last boss, I had about 700 HP each character did, which, Michael, you've played JRPGs before, you know that's like super low.
Yeah,
like
that's
typically
really low,
you'll have about 9,000, like 999 or something. So to have about 700 is, yeah, it's a bit, it's kind of kiddie focused, but still deep enough to be worth playing.
Okay.
So yeah, that's what I was playing. If anyone likes JRPGs in a very retro style, definitely give it a go. I highly recommend.
Sean.
Finally, Jesus.
Sorry,
JRPG corner over here.
Cool. Yeah. So the next game, which I have just finished recently, is 12 Minutes. Don't know.
Oh yeah. James
wow.
McAvoy's in that.
Yes. And what's his name?
Star Wars girl.
Willem Dafoe.
Willem Dafoe. Yeah.
And Riley. No, what's her name?
Daisy Ridley.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know if either of you have played this.
No.
Cool.
I think I know the twist.
I think I do as well, but I'd rather.
I don't want to say the twist.
Hear
It's a pretty crazy twist that you don't see coming in the game.
Willem Dafoe was dead the whole time.
Yes,
he was the Green Gobbler.
So yeah, it's.
I wish we had a picture for that on the screen.
It's essentially a point and click game, pretty short as well. But
it's only 12 minutes, so it's
exactly.
Good one.
The whole game takes place in your apartment. And yeah, basically the idea of the game is it's a 12-minute loop in that apartment that you have to keep playing over and over again to figure out the puzzle. Which there's like multiple smaller puzzles within the whole game that you need to figure out one at a time to put all the pieces together. Like I said, it's point and click. The actual gameplay of it is just you like moving around the apartment, checking things out, like paintings, like a plant, the fridge, things like that, just to get clues. And I presume, sorry to interrupt you, the information you gain on one loop can help you do things on the next 100%. One. I will say, like, it says you can complete it in about 4 hours. It probably took me 10. Because some things are once you find one little piece of information, it's pretty much like this means nothing to me until, like you said, you go a few more loops, you learn something else, you put those together, but then you have to figure out, okay, how do I use these two pieces of information to get something new? And the amount of things that you can click on in the apartment is actually pretty limited after you've done a few loops. But like things will reveal more information the more loops you go. So like, let's say you clicked on a painting, the first few loops, he says the same thing about it. Then you come back after learning something else that might not like be obviously linked to the painting, but you get to a point where it's like, all right, I'm just going to click on everything again until he'll give me some new information, you know? But yeah, basically you have to go through the loop over and over again. Now, I will admit I had to actually use a guide to finish the game because there's a few things in the later loops that you have to do in such a specific order to progress that it was like really hard to figure out. I was like just lost.
Is that a design flaw then? Because like,
I mean, now I haven't looked up like what other people have said about the game. Maybe I was just being dumb, but I've
just got to point out the scene on the screen. That's the shining carpet.
Oh, is it? Oh, that's cool.
Well, it's very similar to it anyway.
But yeah, there was like a few things later on in the game, whereas like I was just like lost doing the same loop over and over again. And then when I looked up how to do it, I was like, fuck it. Like it wasn't obvious. Do you know what I mean? I never would have thought of that. Even with all the information I had at that point, it wasn't obvious because it was like, oh, you need to do this thing before that will happen, you know? But it was like cool. It was like something I don't usually play point and click games. So it was something I didn't even know it was point and click until I started playing it. But it was like, I thought it was really cool. The story like kept me engaged in it the whole way. Especially when you get towards the big twist, which you won't see coming. But yeah, I don't know. It's something a bit different. Like I said, it should be a short game technically. And yeah, it was fun. It was weird, like playing the same thing over and over again, and like not seeing any new scenery. But it was cool when things start to change, like very subtly, and you pick up on them, and then you're like, oh, hold on a second. So it's pretty cool figuring out the mystery of the game.
I guess like around this time, I remember there was almost like a bit of a a trend of time loop games happening. There was that Outer Wilds was I always mix up Outer Worlds, yeah. And there was another one made by Arcane, I should say. The one on the Deathloop, yeah. Which is cool, but I could never really gel with any of them, to be honest. Like, it's a cool idea for a game to use information from one and then but it never none of those games stuck with me for some reason.
Yeah. I think like if it was because it's such a short like game, like a small package, like that's kind of what I wanted, just something small to play through that was different. If it was like a way longer game that had that as a core mechanic, I don't know, I'd probably be the same as you. I don't know if that would keep me interested for a longer
Have
experience.
you ever played Majora's Mask, Sean?
You know he hasn't.
I'm not sure actually. When did that come out?
98.
Yeah, no, I haven't played it, Steve.
I heard a lot of people when this game came out, like they were praising it, but a lot of like reviewers said that once they got to the twist, they retroactively realized they didn't like it. Okay. Without spoiling anything, like, can you like say anything to that, like, or do you
about
feel
the twist?
Similar?
Did you feel that way after the twist?
Oh, did I feel like I didn't like it?
Yeah, like did it change your opinion on it much?
I don't know. It was such a left field twist that like I don't think anybody would see coming. I definitely, there's some things that still afterwards don't make sense to me, and I don't know if that's supposed to be the way it is, but like the game I think leaves a big question at the end. Yeah. But I don't know how else to say it without spoiling it.
Okay.
But I do. Yeah, I don't know. I still liked it for the whole experience, if that's what you mean. And I thought I guess the fact that I don't think there's any way you could like figure it out without the game telling you like the twist. Do you know what I mean? So maybe looking at it that way, it's a bit like that's a bit annoying because like there's no way you could figure out the mystery yourself, really. If that makes sense.
And that can be really frustrating. Like, I don't need too many clues, but you have to go, oh yeah. That's the best sort of twist for me. It's like, of course. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, like I'll say, without giving too much away, the way you find out what the twist is by, I don't think this is really a spoiler, but another character tells you, basically. So, and they tell you because you prompt them with something, but you're not really putting two and two together and figuring that out yourself. It's like the game just tells you. Do you know what I mean?
You're giving me blue balls just fucking talking about this, which is a great segue into my game, by the way.
Go for it.
Way.
Sorry, Sean. Did you have anything else to say?
No, that's pretty much it. It's like it's a cool point and click adventure, or not really an adventure, mystery game.
Yeah.
Play it if you want something short and puzzle solving. Yeah.
One last thing, sorry, before we move on. Damn, my segue was too long ago now. But are the voice performances good? 3 cool actors.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, they are pretty good. Nothing like amazing, I'd say. Yeah. But there's a few points where I was like, oh, cool. I wasn't expecting like that range of a performance. You know. So they're decent.
Okay, cool. So I've been playing Blueprints lately.
Nice.
And the first thing I'm going to say is it took me way too long to get the pun in the title.
I was about to say the same thing.
It's about a prince that's blue, and he has a blue kingdom, and it sort of is that, but like it's about building diagrams, blueprints. So yeah, sorry it took me
building diarrhea.
So I really bounced off this game, and this is going to be a trend with some other stuff I'm going to talk about as well, but this is like one of the most critically acclaimed games that have come out this year, and I can really see why. It's like I've never played a game like it where, so the basic concept is, for anyone who doesn't know, you go into this house, you have a challenge to reach room 46, I think it is, and every door you go through throws up the menu that you can see on screen at times where you get to select what the next room is. And you have to think about, okay, does this have a door out of it? So will it give me more options in terms of new rooms? certain rooms give you buffs or will give you penalties, or you might get an item out of it, and you have to sort of think strategically about where you're placing everything. And within some rooms, there's some mini puzzles as well, which are actually pretty good, and they change every day. So it sort of goes on a loop in a way as well. So you have a set number of steps you can take every day. You lose a step every time you go into a new room, or every time you go into a room, I should say. So if you have to backtrack, you lose a load of steps because you'll go through a load of rooms and therefore lose a lot of steps. So all that is really good. Fantastic mechanics. I like the art style. It presents a mystery and does storytelling in a really interesting way. There's some, like I said, there's mini puzzles, but there's sort of like bigger, wider, more lateral thinking puzzles going on as well. The thing that really stopped me from playing, and I just stopped at one point, and I'm like, fuck this game, is it's very heavily dependent on randomness or RNG.
Knew that would be it.
Yeah. And like this is something commenting people have saying, but for me, I got to a point where I was really close to completing the first floor, and just through random chance, one room didn't go my way, and it just completely undid all my progress that day. So I'd have to start from scratch. Now, there is a thing where, like, if you're lucky, you can store an item for the next day. I didn't have that option that day. That's random as well. So in a way, everything's great. And some people say, oh, you have to adapt to it and like give yourself over to the fact that some days you're not going to make progress. But it's like, I only have a limited amount of time to play. And it's really frustrating with a puzzle game as well to go back to square one, essentially.
So sorry, go ahead, Steve.
No, you go ahead, Sean. Random point.
Well, I was just I've played this as well, actually, and kind of the same. It's something that maybe I'd like to go back to in the future, but I've seen again that it can take like 40 hours to complete the game.
Yeah,
and that's like, and also some of the reviews I've read have said, get a pen and paper when you're playing the game because you're going to need to take notes on all the puzzles and stuff. It's a really cool concept as well. But when you said the first floor, do you mean like that first level? Like,
I think there's more to it than that. Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure because I was very close to completing that.
Like to get into the room at the top.
But I think you have, I got to the room at the top, but you need another thing from there to get into the basement, I think is the next level. Right. And then I presume there's like a couple of other floors after that. So.
It's so hard.
Hard
to get a grip on like what the gameplay of this game is just looking at it. Like it's really hard to understand like what is going on.
Yeah, it's basically like the main mechanic is selecting your new room.
Yeah,
to be honest. So making that choice, and like I was saying, the mechanics are sound. They work really well, but it just didn't do it for me. And I'm classic me thing is that I sometimes unfairly compare games to other games that are similar. This initially reminded me a lot of Lorelei and the Laser Eyes, which is
I've heard that comparison.
Like they're very different. The only thing that's similar is they're in a mansion and it's filled with puzzles. But Lorelei and the Laser Eyes just has this amazing vibe and art style, and the puzzles are, you know, they're right there in front of you. You have all the information you need to solve them. It's not, there's no random element per se. So yeah, it didn't, like, I can understand why it's getting such good reviews, but not for me. I really bounce off.
Like, I guess it can take so long to actually complete a puzzle as well because you need certain rooms.
Yeah.
So like you can be like, okay, cool, I got this. I just need one more thing, but then you don't get that room for like 3 turns or something.
It's literally getting a random jigsaw every time, which may not have every piece you need.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is it literally that, Michael? Is that literally what it is?
It's literally that. It's like the footage on screen isn't what it is. It's actually to give you a jigsaw.
Crazy that it's
cool.
Okay. Sorry, I was just going to say crazy that it's got such a huge score.
Maybe if you push through, I'm sure. Like, and I love the storytelling in it and the framing of everything, and I like the art style. It just, again, the RNG just did it for me.
Yeah. So
I'm definitely planning on giving it a go, just because I love a good puzzle, and I've been told the puzzles in it are pretty good. But just very quickly, just a very, very small tangent, just to bring it back to something you said, Michael, that I think is a really relevant point. Yeah, we don't have a lot of time for games. That is something that, like, I think all three of us have more and more been more aware of it. Like, do you remember when you were like, we were just finished college and you could spend like 6 hours playing games, like, or something, like, and just, we do not have that time anymore. So, no, I get what you mean. Like, things that I would have been able to push through before, I get a lot more frustrated on, just because I know I'm not going to have an awful lot of time.
Like, it's frustrating because I've seen the new that Elder Scrolls remake came out, and I'm like, that's sick. I would love to play that. Oh, it would be like 100 hours, so I can't. Like, I know I will enjoy that because I've played other Elder Scroll games and Fallouts and whatever, but like, I can't. I need to like break my leg or something and not be able to move. So that's the only way I can play that, basically.
Someone's going to have a horrible accident on the stairs tomorrow. I know what you mean. Like, you definitely want like short experiences, which incidentally segues as nicely into my next game.
Excellent. Great work.
Now,
smooth as butter.
Yeah, no. Smooth as balls. So far, I think we've recommended every single game we've played.
No.
I am about to... Oh, no? You're not recommending Blueprints, no?
No, I bounced off it, man. Fuck that game. I know. I'm only joking. Go ahead. Sorry. Yeah.
Well, fair enough. I mean, so I played a game that basically I hated. So I played Monsters of the Deep, the Final Fantasy 15 VR fishing game. Which, yeah. So this, I imagine this. So just to give you an idea, right? Like, Sean, you're probably not aware of this, and like Michael, you might not remember this, but Final Fantasy 15 had like a billion side projects and side games and stuff. Like, it had a movie, anime episodes, a novel, like a side-scrolling beat-em-up, this VR game. They had loads of DLC. Like, it crossed over with Tekken 7. It had a shit ton of stuff. And I realized this was one, like, kind of hole in my... heart? No, not heart. Repertoire. I don't know. I saw it finally went cheap. Like, basically, it was always 20 quid, and it finally went like kind of cheap for like, I think it was 7 or 8 quid or something like that. It's like, do you know what? I'll give it a go. Why not? This is an absolute pile of shit game. It's really bad. Michael, when you played Final Fantasy 15, what did you think of the fishing in it?
It was I did the bare minimum. I didn't enjoy it at all. I'm generally not a fan of fucking fishing mini, and like, they throw them into so many JRPGs, but I'm just like, like the one I liked it in Sea of Stars. I sort of liked the fishing mini game in that one, but no, didn't like it at all. It was very well made in some ways, like in terms of animation and stuff, but no.
Yeah, no, I'd agree with you. Sorry, what were you saying?
Sorry, Steve, you might have just said this already, but this is VR as well, is it?
Yeah, this is a VR game. It's like a spin-off of Final Fantasy
VR
15.
Final Fantasy fishing game. What the hell?
Yeah. But like I picked it up because like I don't really know what the deal is with it. Like, I wanted to give it a go. It's so janky, man. It's horrifically janky. But this might be just of the time. Like, I'm starting to think that like PlayStation VR games, pretty much all of them are janky, and like, it's going to get to a stage where we just realize, man, PSVR games are just borderline unplayable.
Oh no!
Because the only, there's like a handful that I've played, like the really big ones, like, you know, Beat Saber or Resident Evil 7 works surprisingly well, but most of the ones I play are just like, this is terrible. Like, everything is clipping through everything else. The controls are really bad. Like, nothing is doing what I want it to do, and there's basically no gameplay. But that's a very neat little summary of what's going on in this game.
Like, because is the fishing even interesting? Because like, it doesn't seem like an interesting thing to do. Well, I think full stop, even in real life. But like, in VR, why would you? I don't know. Like, it doesn't work.
It's no. Like, the short answer is no. It doesn't work. Like, it's you basically. I don't know what the incentive is to go fishing. Like, there's a story mode, which I'm going to... So in the story mode, the whole idea is there's evil fish that you have to kill. And after you've get enough fish, the evil fish rises out of the depths and tries to kill you. And that's when you take out your your crossbow, and you have to kill it. That part's fun. That part of the game, which is very much not the main focus of the game, is actually fun. But the rest of it, which is like about 70 or 80% of the game, is just, cast your line with a really janky camera and net, and wait a few minutes, reel it in, and it's just really dull.
I really wasn't expecting that giant chicken on screen. Or
that's a chocobo or a chocobo or chicken. Okay.
Chicken.
I think it is chocobo in this one, yeah. But I'm looking on screen, and like for those like who can't see this, like the guy is doing way more exploring than I did, because I literally just went straight to the fishing line. I wonder if this makes the game better if you actually
it doesn't look like it does,
the traversal looks.
I was about to say as well, the environment is so ugly, like not in terms of graphics, but it's like a disused fucking waste plant or something.
To be fair, I think that's like the ugliest, like, but most of it isn't that much better. The best stage has like one of those giant fantasy elephant things, like drinking water beside you, but even that's not that impressive. So
yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Also, very quick side note. I'm not going to go into too much more detail because I'm aware of time, but there is a lot of homoeroticism running through this game.
Well, that's Final Fantasy 15. Like that's
to a T.
So it's got that going for it, but everything else is shit. There's a guy with a tongue. Okay, cool. Okay, it has tongues.
And I never
good tongue.
I never saw that. I never saw that in the game. Clearly, I was supposed to do more exploring, but like they don't explain any of this as well, which is what's really annoying. They don't explain so much of the game. Like there's something in it called tickets you can get. I never won one, and I didn't know what they were for. And I'm pretty sure like that's the whole reason you're playing the game. It's awful.
I think that's just a skill issue, Steve. I think you're just shit at the game, if we're all being honest.
It's very, very possible. But anyway, speaking of being shit at games, Sean.
Oh, here we go. Yeah. Well, my next one may surprise you then, Steve. So I
Real Base 97.
Yeah. I
don't know some of the fishing.
Yeah.
It's bass actually when it's fish.
It is.
Sorry, guys, just had to.
Oh, sorry.
Couldn't let that one.
No,
pass.
that's the base playing simulation game from 97. I do have just a very quick honorable mention before I get onto my last one. So I'm going to tie these two together if that's cool. It is. I just recently finished Death Stranding. So I just
nice.
wanted to quickly talk about. Have you played it, Steve?
No, not yet.
Sean,
sorry to piss in your cornflakes there, but no spoilers, please.
No, okay, yeah, no spoilers.
But no spoilers. Tell me anything happening in that story.
Yeah, that's a great question. It's just crazy Kojima, like, isn't it? I can honestly say, like, I can't remember how many hours I put into it to finish it, but like I pretty much just mainlined the story as well. There was a few early on I had to do a few side missions, but I was just like, it got to a point where I'm like, just get me to the end of this, you know? But like, and this is going to sound weird, but I don't know if I ever really had fun playing the game. Like,
I don't know. I did enjoy some of the traversal stuff, I have to say.
Like, I'll say some of that stuff was cool. Like there was parts where it was like, oh, the landscape looks amazing, and going down this mountain on a bike, or the zip lines and stuff like that. That kind of thing was cool. But more often than not, it was just cumbersome. And it was like,
that's fair. Yeah.
Or like I would get attacked when I've got like a million things on my back and they all fall off, and then I have to pick them up one by one.
It's a sort of abrasive game that way. It's not like, because in some ways it has this chill vibe, and it's almost like, oh, here, relax with this game, but it's so annoying at times with the gameplay, and there's so many little things, and like, no one likes the feeling of dropping all their things on the ground. So, and this game instills that a lot.
I love that.
Like,
it's your fetish.
Everyone's raving about Death Stranding 2 now, and like, maybe I'll play it at some point in the future, but I'm not rushing to do this again.
I am looking forward to it, because they've been saying it's bringing a bit more of the MGS5 gameplay into
I heard that, yeah.
And that fills me with hope, but I'm the same. I'm maybe a bit more excited than you, but yeah, I'm sort of like, I'm not going to rush out and get it when it comes out first.
I feel like
listen, we're all Kojima fanboys here, so like let's face it, we are probably all going to play that eventually. So.
Yeah, well, I definitely am. Yeah.
I feel like it's kind of he's just going to do the same thing again though, and it's going to be more questions than answers. Like
in terms of the story, like who I don't know. I think he peaks in like fucking MGS2 really with stories.
Fair.
Like,
I'll just quickly. I just wanted to. That was just a passing one. I'll just quickly move on to my last one, which I believe, Michael, may be one of yours also.
It's one I'm currently playing at the moment.
Perfect. I am currently playing this one as well, and that is Clair Obscur Expedition 33. So
everybody's baby.
I think currently it's the highest rated game of the year, or is it tied with Blueprints?
Yeah, both of those are pretty high, and yeah, you go ahead first. But it's so funny that these are the most acclaimed games so far this year. It's two indie games. I know this one had a bit more money behind it, but essentially
this is an indie game.
Well, yeah, it was made by 30 people from a new French studio.
Now I should say 30 people were the core team.
Okay,
There's a lot more
outsourcing and stuff.
Yeah, a lot more people involved. But,
but I think the studio, it's Sandfall Interactive in France, and it was set up by an ex-Ubisoft dev. And I think I think actually he came out and clarified this after people were saying it, but only like 3 of the people at the studio are ex-Ubisoft. He said there's a lot of young talent at the studio that are like new to video game development. But yeah, so not a typical game for me at all, and it's not one I would have played. It was only really for the amount of praise it was getting, and it was coming out. It was coming to Game Pass, and I was like, maybe I'll check it out. Then when all the reviews started coming in and the Metacritic score and stuff, I was like, yeah, okay, I mean, like, I'll give it a go. And the one thing I had heard about it going in was I knew it was turn-based. I kind of bounced off that at first before I played it. But then I heard from people like, oh, this like revolutionizes turn-based combat because it's got real-time mechanics in it as well. And it's unlike anything you've played. So I thought, okay, cool, I'll give it a go. Heard a lot of people as well who didn't like turn-based combat really liked this. And I will say I'm really enjoying it so far. I didn't expect to, but I'm really enjoying the battles in it, which is like, now my only experience with turn-based combat before this is the original Final Fantasy VII.
Oh yeah, we made you play some of that, yeah.
So it's obviously way different to that. But yeah, it's like the story as well is really, really interesting. I'm pretty early on. I don't know whereabouts you are, Michael, but...
Do you want to say where you are in a vague term? If that's...
I mean, I can say the area.
I wouldn't remember the area. What does it look like?
The place I'm in is the Stonewave Cliffs.
Okay. Oh, we're not too far away from... I'm a little ahead of you.
Cool. I just started that area. So. Yeah. So that's still... I imagine that's still pretty early on.
I think so, yeah.
Because I think I've heard it's about 25 hours just for the main campaign in this, and there's a lot of side stuff you can do. But yeah, it's really cool. I'm still... Because I'm not... like this, I guess this is like typical JRPG style, and I'm not used to like all the upgrade or like all the abilities and stuff that you can upgrade. There's a lot of that going on.
A lot of that,
which I'm still trying to learn and get used to. Like right now, I'm just like, this weapon is cool, I'll upgrade that. But then now that I'm a bit more into the story, I'm coming into fights where this weapon isn't working for me because they're resistant to it or something.
You have to think about those things.
Yeah, so it's getting a bit more like strategic in how I need to like plan for battles and stuff. But yeah, I will say, graphics are amazing. Like the cutscenes and everything. Like the game is beautiful. Story is really interesting. Like I said, combat is fun. Yeah, it's hard to fault it really so far. Maybe just that I'm still getting used to the JRPG style. So like I said, the ability upgrades, menus and stuff is taking a little time. But
it's a lot of stuff, and sometimes they do a pretty good job of explaining it in this game. But there's a lot. Like because I'm sort of just doing the bare minimum with that stuff.
Same.
Like I have a lot of new ability points that I haven't put into anything because I'm just like, I'm fine with what I have.
Yeah. But you being somebody who's played a lot of JRPGs and stuff, I'd love to hear your opinion on what you think of it.
First of all, you said this sort of revolutionizes turn-based combat because it has like,
from what I've heard,
the timed button presses. How dare you forget The Legend of Dragoon?
Okay. Oh, sorry.
Oh, God.
Okay. Steve will know this. The most influential game of all time.
Oh, man. That was like kicking me in the nuts in my heart. That was no, sorry, that was an awful game I played last. Well, not awful, very, very average, very mid game that I played last year.
It's like a 90s JRPG that was pretty bad, but it did have timed button presses. So, but no, like you wouldn't know until you know. And it's done really well in this game. Actually, the dodging I really enjoy because the enemies have interesting attack patterns that keep you guessing. But once you learn them, it's pretty satisfying to dodge or parry everything. And like it adds another element when you're attacking as well, so it's less passive as a result. Like a lot of other games have done this, like Sea of Stars did it, the Super Mario RPGs did it, like just probably loads of other ones I'm not even thinking of. But it does. This is a game that takes a lot from other JRPGs. Like you wouldn't be as aware because you haven't played them, but like there's a lot of Persona in this. There's a lot of Final Fantasy X.
I was thinking that
as well. Like on the left of this battle screen, you see the order of who's coming next, and that's like a thing I associate with Final Fantasy X.
Yeah,
fair.
My general feeling is this is a really good game. Like everything's really good. The combat system is maybe the highlight. The graphics look amazing. The story's well told. I don't get why it's so critically acclaimed. For me, it's like pretty good. It's
maybe all the reasons you just said.
maybe it's but like
do you think everything is really good?
Are you saying like it's just because it's nothing that's been done before and it's generic?
No, I don't mind things being like just influences being like one of my favorite games last year was Signalis, and that wears its influences like really heavily on its sleeve. That's not doing anything new, but it made it its own and it did it really well. This isn't blowing me away in that way, unfortunately. I think maybe it's so critically acclaimed because it's a turn-based system that works.
Yeah, and do you think it's introducing maybe a lot of people like myself to turn-based games that haven't been exposed to it as much?
It's partly that, but it's also people who've been crying out for those in like, because that's happening a lot in 2D games at the moment. So you have like Sea of Stars, I mentioned. What's that other one I played recently? It's bad that I can't remember its name, but there's another new JRPG that's turn-based that was pretty good. But this is doing it with like seemingly like big production values. And it's really efficient. Like you go into battles really quickly. They don't last too long. That's the thing about turn-based combat is like Final Fantasy VII, the original, you have to wait for it to load in, and then the animations take really long, and battles can like drag as a result.
Yeah, one thing I was going to say, I like the fact as well that there's no like the random encounters, like you can avoid them if you want.
Yeah, that's a huge one
really
as well.
Good, yeah.
And that's something more modern JRPGs that use turn-based combat have been trying to do as well.
Also, just to mention, this is like, it's technically an indie game, but it is like AAA production quality, and it's only 50 quid.
Yeah. You can tell a lot of money's been put into the game.
Yeah. But
two things I'll say on it is, which are generally positives, but with caveats, are the environment design is visually stunning. Like, you've been to this area. Early on, you go into this underwater area, and you look up, and like there's a whale in the sky, just floating around as like an ambient element of the level. And every environment has something like that going on. It's really beautiful, and a lot of care.
Man, you get really sick of that after a while.
Yeah, fuck that. But what I'll say is, all the levels felt a bit samey though, as in there's like, in terms of the way they're laid out, they're all very similar. They felt very gamey, and it's unfair to compare it, but like if you compare it to Final Fantasy Rebirth, every new area felt geographically different, as in the way the level was shaped felt really, it might be in a very like flat desert plain, or you might go to a jungle and there's all these little paths that go up and above each other. It made it feel more different. Whereas this is like, oh, I'm in this biodome that's level. Like that underwater level, you're in a forest before that, and then suddenly you're in an underwater level, and it's like, where the fuck, like, is there some story reason that I'm underwater? I completely missed that. It was just like, oh, now you're underwater, by the way.
Yeah, I guess, like, I mean, I'm hoping they might, like, explain stuff like that more going forward, but right now, like, there's a lot of questions about the story and the world, you know?
Yeah, and like, maybe that'll all pay off. So I do want to finish this if I can endure it, but like, not endure it, it's good, but like,
this great game is...
Yeah, no, this great game, I know, it's a fucking...
Man, you're a lot more cynical than you usually are, like, today. What's going on? Like, you okay?
Age catching up on me. One last point on this is it's novel because it has a world map as well.
Oh yeah, that kind of thing is cool.
Yeah, and that's something a lot of people have been crying out for, because all the old Final Fantasies had world maps as well, where you go around and there's like a small version of the area and then you go into it. I'm sort of the opinion that maybe there's a reason we don't have world maps anymore, because it does lead it to feeling very disconnected between areas.
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe my opinion will change, but I'm not a big fan of the world map.
It kind of annoys me that you can't open it when you're in a biome as well. Do you know, when you go into a place?
To the end
so
of
it's like, I just want to check where I'm going to go to next, and I can't until I leave that area.
The map isn't great either, I think. But you know, okay, so maybe I'll give it till the end and my opinion will change on it, but at the moment it's all really good, but people are calling this a masterpiece, and I would not put that title on it.
Fair.
Harsh but fair.
Yeah.
Harsh but fair indeed. Just when you said world map, I thought you meant like the old PS1 Final Fantasies world map, where, you know, like you're walking around and you see like 2 buildings and that's a town, and then you walk into it and then suddenly you're in the town and it's much bigger. That's not what you mean, is it?
It's sort of like that, yeah. It's a new version of that. Yeah, they did try. When I first went to it, I was like, oh, they're doing this. Like they're again wearing their influences on their sleeves, and I'm like, cool, you tried it, and they try some elements to make it more interesting. Like, I don't know if I think you've got to a John, where you get a guy who can clear paths for you. But also it makes all the separate like levels that you go into feel a little bit more disconnected, to be honest. But yeah, it's cool. I'll give it another shot.
I always liked world maps, but I mean, I haven't played this, so it looks really good. I'm definitely planning on picking this up eventually, but there's a trend that like our listeners will be picking up on over like the following episodes. I tend to lean a lot more retro, so it'll be about 2030 before I pick this up, I'm guessing.
And by then it will be retro, so
yeah. So it looks actually, it's weirdly it's reminding me a lot of Forspoken, actually.
The visual style is really like that. I had the same thought as well. Yeah.
It might just be because the main character on screen now, like, she's flying a lot, and that's what.
Yeah, that's not explained either so far.
Oh, really? Yeah. It's fantasy. Deal with it, bitch. Okay. Cool. Okay. Just before we move on to news, I've got one more game that I'm not going to spend a lot of time on because I haven't finished, and so the last game that I've been playing most recently is A Hat in Time, which
sick. Cool.
Yeah, I know, Michael, you've played this before and you really like this. Nice to get some, optimism and positivity from you for once. you cynical piece of shit.
I like Klonoa too. Boring.
You kind of liked it.
Yeah, fair.
Yeah. But A Hat in Time is like, I don't want to play my cards too early here, but it is pure joy. Like, it's such a nice, fun, cozy little game. It reminded me a lot of Mario Sunshine. That was the game that came to mind when I started playing it, because all the levels are kind of like big open hub areas, and you just have to go around searching for like these timepieces, which are basically the stars of the game.
Collectible.
And and like it very much is like old school, similar to N64, but with like modern upgrades and modern quality of life improvements. I like it a lot. Platforming feels really good. You've got like a nice little dive, double jump thing. You've got these hats that you can switch out for different abilities. Not as many as I thought. I've only got 5 at the moment. I don't know if there's much more than that, but that's fine. You don't want to be overwhelmed with abilities either. And the thing I really like about it more than anything else is it's really funny. It's a really, really funny game. Like, there's a bit that really made me laugh. What was it? It was Oh crap! I can't remember what it was, but it's just like there's lots of. Oh, do you know what it was? It wasn't. Didn't even make me laugh. But just something I really like is your hub area has a little Roomba in it, and this is a very very small detail. But you can hop on the Roomba, and the Roomba is like he's got eyes, and it just kind of looks like he's under duress and under pain, like when you sit on him. And it's just like I love that they included that. They saw the Roomba, they knew you were going to jump on it, and they included this thing because of course you're going to do that.
Yeah.
I love that. It's great. And your main character has like a little hideout in her bedroom in the hub. So like if you dive in there, you can find her diary, and it basically tells you what happened in the last level you played, but in a really funny way. There's a random computer in your hub area where you can play like a random Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy style text adventure, which is just bizarre and doesn't need to be there, but is there. So that's what I really like about this. It's clearly like people saying, can we fit this cool thing in there? Yeah, let's do it. They're clearly not doing it to sell, because it is kind of janky in a weird way, but charmingly so. So that's pretty much all I had to say on that. I haven't finished it yet. I think I'm close to it, but I don't know for definite. But it's good. I definitely recommend Hat in Time for people who like pure platforming fun.
I wish there was more games like this around. This is the only one that really, of the new breed of platformers, that really scratched that itch. You know, like you said, Mario and Jak and Daxter, that sort of, I don't know, just having a big open area where I can go and like tight platforming controls. Like that's what I want. I might go back and replay it actually, because looking at the footage is making me want to. It's just a lot of fun to get around this first level, I have to say.
Yeah. Did you finish the game, by the way?
I did. Like some of the later levels didn't. I think it peaks early, to be honest.
Yeah.
I did like the train level. That I vaguely remember.
I was about to say, so on the train level, there's these like crows wearing like overcoats all over the place, and they're like suspicious people. Have to ask, when you played that, did you think of Psychonauts? Yeah. Okay, yeah, because all I could think there is like, these are very clearly the milkmen from Psychonauts. It's amazing.
One recommendation I give if you haven't played it is trying Psychonauts 2. It's not as good as the original, but it's pretty fucking close, I will say. And it's
on my list.
It's got better platforming than that wouldn't be hard. Psychonauts 1 platform.
That's true. Yeah.
Janky, but how good was fucking Psychonauts that the platforming wasn't great, but it's still like an amazing game.
Still works. Yeah. It's really weird that's the case. Yeah. Oh man, it's so good.
Okay, cool.
Okay, so news. I think we're going to jump into news. So
let's do it.
We've got a couple of things have happened in the last month. So the first thing that we're going to talk about, because I believe Sean and Michael, you're going to have a lot more to say about this than I am, but the GTA 6 trailer dropped, but it's also been delayed to 2026.
And it's like,
thoughts?
Who's surprised about this, really? Has every Rockstar game for the last 20 years been delayed? Like Red Dead was delayed.
Yeah.
I'm sure the other ones were.
Yeah, sure they were as well. I mean, yeah, not really that surprising. I don't know how long this has been in active development, but it's going to be like properly next gen when it comes out, like a proper next gen game when it comes out. I've got the latest trailer on screen there, and people are picking that apart online for all the little details. But also apparently this is captured on a base PS5 in game.
I've heard that, yeah.
Now, like, a lot of it looks like cutscenes to me though. But
it's almost all cutscenes, I think. Well, they did say some of it was taken from gameplay.
Yeah, but I guess what they mean is it's like rendered in real time, like cutscene or something. But it's incredible, like the lighting, the reflections, everything that's going on.
If you think about it, though, the Red Dead 2 trailers the game did end up looking like that.
Yeah.
It wasn't too far from it anyway. So I'm not too worried about that element of it. I have to say though, I'm not crazy excited.
I'm the same. Yeah, like, I mean, I don't know. I haven't played.
Who gives a shit, really? Like, it's just Grand Theft Auto.
Jesus, Steve, you've become awful cynical in the last 5 minutes since Hat of Time.
I think, like,
ever since Rockstar came into the conversation, it doesn't take long for me to get cynical.
Yeah,
I think we would have had GTA 6 before now if it wasn't for GTA Online, and I don't think any of us played GTA Online.
We played a very little bit of it.
A little bit in college. That's how long ago GTA 5 came out. But like, But there's a huge community for GTA Online. Like that's what Rockstar have been surviving on basically for the last 10 years plus.
You say surviving as if they're like struggling for money, like.
But no. But I mean, like the reason GTA 5 is always in the top best-selling games like lists is because of that. Like people aren't buying it to play the story again. Do you know what I mean?
No.
Like we had our fun in the free roam, like single player, like back in the day and stuff, and that's still fun to do today. I'd say, like if you haven't before, and that will be a big pull for GTA 6 too. But online is where they're going to make their money.
Oh my god! Like that's my worry about this is that it's like it's a pretty good single player, but they're just like, oh no, this is a new online game for you, basically.
Yeah, I mean, if they do it like they did with GTA 5, where it's split, you know, so you've got your single player campaign, you have to launch a different thing to go into the online. But I'd imagine they'd want to combine those, because it'll make it like more seamless for players. You know,
maybe I don't know. It's just I don't know. There's nothing that's like, because if you think about it, right, it's got all these cool graphics and things you can do, whatever. But if it has the same mission structure as 5 and Red Dead 2 had, then it's just going to be boring because they were like the most linear, Uncharted style things that you could do in all those missions.
That's what I've been trying to tell you guys.
And like I can't the story in Red Dead 2 was pretty good, but like I don't hold out a lot of hope that it's going to be so compelling that I'm going to have to play it.
I wouldn't play a GTA game really for the story, do you know? Like I'm more interested in playing it for, to be honest, like the graphics, mechanics, like that kind of, just to have a look at it almost, do you know what I mean? And play around with it for a bit. But like I was never like people who are really into GTA Online, like they almost live a second life on that game, those kind of people. Like, you know, I wouldn't be that much into it that's what I want to do. But I think a lot of people will be looking towards GTA 6 for that, you know?
Potentially.
And again, like how long GTA 5 has been out and it's still making money for them, like I'm sure their plan with 6 is for it to be that again, but for even longer. You know, like just a games as a service game, basically.
I think it's also funny that because going back to the delay, apparently, now this is just rumors, but a lot of other big games have been holding off their releases this year because they thought GTA 6 would drop this year, and like just everybody would buy that, so it would take all their sales. But now, so I don't know what's going to happen. Are we going to get a load of sudden release dates coming soon as a result of this?
I think there's going to be a bit of a scramble, really, because because of that, because of what you said, a lot of developers had pushed their release to next year. So they're like, cool, we've got like 6 more months of development or whatever. But now they might be like, lads, you have to get this done by Christmas,
which sucks.
You know, so that's going to a load of lads are going to be crunching. So one thing I had heard was Battlefield 6, the next Battlefield, originally was planned to come out this year, but they had pushed it to next year because of GTA 6, and now they might actually release it in the autumn. Don't know if that's true or going to happen, but that's just one example of developers reevaluating their release schedules.
Yeah, I don't know how, because like making games is you can't move on a dime. You have to like plan years in advance. So I don't know if things can change. Like, really,
there might be games that are in development that are like they had envisioned them being finished this year anyway, but they're like, let's hold off. Because sometimes that does happen where a publisher will say, oh, the game's done, but we're going to give it 3 months or something because there's a load of other releases happening. So there might be some games that fall into that category, but just don't know yet. We'll have to wait till, I guess, the summer when loads of release trailers start dropping.
Well, I'm just disappointed it's not in the 80s. Like, I know they've literally done that before, but that would have been so cool.
I think there will be a lot of influence, though, because it's set in Vice City.
I know, but like, I want that fucking
I know,
80s
that,
soundtrack.
man. So good.
Maybe this is the game where they introduce time travel. Who knows? I mean, what else can they do?
Yeah, that's go to space, I guess. Okay, cool. Let's move on to talking about the Switch Part 2.
Cool.
Part 2, The Godfather Returns. So I just realized how incredibly wrong that title was. So
he's back. It's The Godfather.
Crucify this. So the Switch 2, we all knew the Switch 2 was coming out, but finally they've actually like announced it, and it's coming out really soon. Like by the time we do our next podcast, it will be out. And
shit, I didn't even realize it was that soon. That's crazy.
Yeah, it's really, really soon. I think anyway. I'm pretty sure it is.
Yeah, I think it's next month. Yeah, June.
Yeah, is it?
Yeah.
It is.
See, this is what I said, Michael, back like in November or whatever. You were like, should I buy a Switch? I was like, just wait, man. The Switch 2 is coming.
I don't regret buying my Switch, I have to say. Because like, one thing I was going to say...
To be fair though, Sean. Sorry. Yeah. Go ahead. No, just to be fair, like, I mean, they were saying the Switch 2 is coming out this year for 4 years, like, you know, so it's fair to have bought it.
But yeah, like one thing is, right, just in terms of general strategy for Nintendo. Okay, I got something more to say about this later, but I'll save it for later. But Switch 2, that's the good move to make, right? Like they shouldn't be innovating. It's basically like, here's a Switch, but better. But is the name a problem? Because the Wii U fucked them up.
Well, they're more affirmative with the 2, I guess, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
no, that's it. Like, because if you say like, yeah, Switch U, like I was even thinking like the Switch Up would have been a great name, but then you literally would be making the exact same mistake as the Wii U, because like, okay, is this the same console? But like with 2, it's very obviously, okay, this is the next one.
I guess it's PlayStation 2, 3, etc. So okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
And they already have like a Switch Lite and Switch OLED, so now putting 2 is like, this is the next generation of it.
It makes sense. They're never going to make that mistake again, I'd say. But yeah, like lots of games announced. The big thing that like I want to talk about, like we'll talk about the games in a sec, but one of my favorite things about it is the fact that you can change the controllers into like a mouse.
Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, I wonder how it'll work.
Yeah, the main thing is like I never get like point and click games on consoles because I want to use a mouse, but now I'm like I might actually start using the Switch now for point and click games, maybe,
or maybe first person shooters. I don't know how it'll work, but maybe.
Yeah. It'll depend. We'll have to see how it goes.
I think like as a console that is primarily marketed as a handheld, like I don't know how much use it'll have. Yeah. Like I feel like it might end up being like the infrared on the Switch. I actually don't even know if the Switch 2 still has the infrared, but do you remember the Switch 1 on one of the Joy-Cons, there was like an infrared sensor and they used that for like the Fit thing.
It's like a Wii remote almost.
Yeah, basically, yeah. But not too many games used it, and it kind of just like fell off after a while. So I wonder, will this like a few games use this at the beginning? Probably like first party games from Nintendo. But saying what you said about first person shooters, apparently you can use a mouse and keyboard on some games on the Switch 1. Like by plugging it in, and I think Doom is one of them and stuff. So yeah, it probably will have an application for that on Switch 2, definitely. But yeah.
So
they also, sorry, go ahead there, Michael.
Well, no, I was just going to say that I really enjoy the time talking to you guys, and it's really special to me. No, you go ahead.
Anyway, so there's another game they announced, and I just want to talk about this for a sec because it made me cringe when I saw it. Was the wheelchair basketball one? Did you guys see this?
Yeah, I can't. Why
did it make you cringe?
It's just it made me no. Hang on, I just want to be very clear about this. No. So like, I no problem with that kind of thing whatsoever. Blah, 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 but like, it's gimmicky is the problem that I have with it. Like, you see the way that you control like the characters. Like, you have to move like one mouse thing as a mouse to move one wheel and the other to do like that. Looks super uncomfortable, and it reminded me a lot of ARMS when they released that game for the Switch, which is a game that they hyped up a lot because they were trying to do like, look, motion controls, and who the fuck is playing ARMS now? Like, you know, so it just looks like some dozens.
I doubt you'll. I imagine you can just use the regular controls as well for that game. But yeah, they were like, we need a game that shows off the mouse controls.
That's 100% it, and you can even tell from the footage that it's like the bare minimum.
Yeah,
really.
Totally.
Yeah.
One thing I wanted to bring up, Steve, like I'm guessing we all saw the kind of reveal for the Switch 2 where they talked about the features and that, and It was so funny when they revealed the game chat feature, because they were talking about like this revolution, like finally you can talk to your friends. And it's like, what year is this? Like every other console is
Nintendo, though.
I know, but the fact that they like reveal it like this is revolutionary, like nobody's ever thought of this before. But so there's an extra button on the right Joy-Con that's not on the original Switch, and that's to bring up the game chat like menu window. But so they revealed in that same showcase, I think, that to use game chat, you have to have Nintendo Switch Online. So you have to pay to talk to people. Not for the first year. For the first year, it's going to be free for everyone. But after that, it's going to turn into a subscription, which means that button on the Joy-Con is tied behind a subscription. Which is crazy to me.
That also sounds like Nintendo, to be honest.
Which is a bit unfortunate that they decided to do that, because, like, I mean, why can't, like, even...
I mean... It's kind of shitty, but like at the same time, like literally we all have phones, you know, so it's not that big a deal. Like it's not like it's going to put you out or anything, but I get what you mean. It is kind of shitty that they don't just let you talk to people.
I guess like you need to have the subscription to play online anyway, so you wouldn't really be talking to people unless you were playing a game together online. So you could kind of throw it into that, but I don't know. I just thought it was funny when that came up. It was
Can I just say I didn't watch the reveal live. I think you two did, and then you messaged me afterwards and said, there's a new FromSoft game exclusive for the Switch. I'm so glad you did, because watching the trailer I would have 100% thought it was Bloodborne 2. And been really disappointed, because they say blood like 1 million times in the trailer.
It's the thing is, it looks really good. I really like the look of it, but I'm weirdly, not that I'm burnt out per se, but like it doesn't look like it's going to do anything new. So like I know they're doing like it's very focused on cooperative gameplay, but I'm still like, it's like I'm definitely going to buy it. I'll definitely enjoy it, but it's hard to get excited about.
Yeah, there's been a glut of Souls-like games, and like Elden Ring was amazing. I loved it, but you know, I really want them to make like a tight single-player focused one as well. And everything they're doing at the moment seems to be
co-op
geared towards multiplayer. But it's interesting. Miyazaki said in an interview that he sort of reassured everyone, saying, this isn't the direction we're going in. Just because we have these two games, we're still going to make like single player focused games in future. So I guess FromSoft have gotten big enough that they have B teams that can do these other games. And then someone like the A team is going to focus on Elden Ring 2 or whatever they've got coming next.
I'm pretty sure it's going to be a Kirby reboot, but
King's Field.
Just a few we don't have to go through every single game, just some of the big ones. We should probably mention Mario Kart. The fucking price of Mario Kart for one thing,
crazy. That's coming,
holy
man.
Crap!
All games,
that's going to be like a huge thing going forward. Xbox have already come out and said that some of their first party games are going to be $80 now going forward, or €80 or whatever. But
I will say though, just to give Mario Kart its dues, I remember for the longest time saying like, where can Mario Kart go from here? Like Mario Kart 8 is kind of a perfect experience, and open world wasn't something I was expecting, but looking at it, it's like, I could see that working. And the fact that there's like a free roam mode that you can just drive around and explore, like I'm just thinking of my brother and his kids, and I'm like, oh my god, that'll keep them busy for hours. That's such a great feature, because so many people who are playing these games now probably do have kids. It looks good. Like I'll probably pick it up, but I was going to say I'll wait until it gets cheaper, but Jesus, it'll probably
it's never going to get cheaper.
I'll probably have to wait till Mario World 2 or Mario Kart World 2 comes out before that happens.
That's the thing that sucks since I got a Switch is like these sales, man, they fucking suck.
They're terrible. Metroid Prime 4 was shown as well. Michael, we messaged about this. I think we're both kind of underwhelmed by this.
Yeah, it almost looks, if you told me this is a remake of the first game, I'd be like, yeah, okay, that tracks. It looks very samey.
It doesn't look graphically impressive at all, in my opinion. Like, I mean, the frame rate is smoother, but other than that, like, there's not much of a difference. I'm kind of like, yeah, she's got new powers, but I mean, every game she's got new powers. It's just like a different flavor of powers. So yeah, I don't know. Sean, do you have any thoughts on that?
The new Metroid Prime. Yeah, I mean, it kind of looks like the remaster to me, like a little bit better, but yeah, nothing like crazy groundbreaking that I saw.
Yeah, like I don't know, it's a cool series, and I'm glad they're still putting money into it. And I don't know, it could be cool. Like I loved Metroid Prime, so maybe I'll get into this one as well. But it didn't wow me with the gameplay.
Yeah,
I have to say.
I'll probably wait for reviews, I'd say, before I make any judgments. Lots of third-party supports, like incredible third-party support in this console, which is what will sell the console 100%. Side thing, GameCube games is a thing on this now. Like, they're going to be playing GameCube games, which is great. I was kind of disappointed that they didn't have Eternal Darkness, because that is the one game that I really, really want to play on that, but yeah, there's no sign of it.
I think I could be wrong, but I think I read somewhere that Eternal Darkness has some weird copyright thing going on with it that means that that's the reason it hasn't been re-released since. Maybe I'm mixing it up with something else, but there's some weird copyright thing that it's in purgatory at the moment. But maybe, that seems like it had the sanity meter. Isn't that one?
Yeah. But I think Nintendo have the copyright on that, but I don't know. There's probably a lot to talk about there. I'm very happy they're doing Soul Calibur 2, the GameCube edition, though, because that is impossible to find out in the wild now. So, yay for that. And the big one, I think the one we're all talking about, Donkey Kong Bonanza.
There it is.
That game, and I'm only half joking because that game looks sick.
It does look really cool. Yeah.
Have you seen the trailer for this, Michael?
Yeah, like I'm not into the side-scrolling Donkey Kongs. I haven't played any of them, actually, I should say. So maybe I should give them a shot now that I have a Switch.
This isn't side-scrolling now, just in case.
Oh,
this
is it not?
Open world. No. This is open world 3D, and the big gimmick with this one is destructible environments. Basically, you can destroy entire levels as Donkey Kong.
It's basically Battlefield with Donkey Kong.
Yeah. Okay, cool. I want Donkey Kong to commit some war crimes, so that'll be sick.
But I mean, legitimately, like, I am so glad they did this because until now, like, Donkey Kong really had a hard time, like, existing alongside Mario because everything he did was something that Mario did better for the longest time. Like, Donkey Kong 64 was a lesser Mario 64 with, like, a big focus on collecting stuff that nobody really liked. And it's kind of been on and off for ages, but this looks like its own thing. They're really putting the focus on him for a while. So I'm delighted. Absolutely delighted. It's no Donkey Konga, but it'll do.
Just one last thing about Nintendo, right? I was reading an interview with Doug Bowser, real name, the head of Nintendo at the moment, and IGN were asking him about, like, it's interesting that Nintendo's becoming like a bigger and wider company, a bit like myself in terms of my waistline, but like just in terms of, but
comedy.
They've got I've been sitting on that joke, man.
Not the only thing you've been sitting on.
Yeah, chairs.
Hey, he gets it.
God. They've got they've got loads of movies coming up. The Super Mario movie was huge. When I was in Japan, like, the theme park and the store were fucking so busy. And I know it's like a tourist attraction, but like there's an obvious appeal there in terms of IP. They've just opened a US store as well, and I think they're opening a theme park there as well. But IGN asked Doug Bowser if that's like a new mission statement for the company, as in, like, sort of implying, are you moving away from games? Are you just becoming like this big company? And Doug Bowser said, their mission is the same as it's always been. It's to create smiles.
Jesus. Holy shit.
But it is interesting, like, Nintendo are becoming like a big multimedia player now as well. Like, it's such a huge brand in a lot of ways, and Switch is just part of that at the moment. It's
am I wrong in thinking they announced or there is a new Mario film coming?
There's a Mario film announced and a Legend of Zelda film announced as well, which
they announced on their app.
That's live action, the Zelda film. Am I wrong in saying that?
I think so. I can't remember, to be honest. I should remember that, but I thought it was really weird they announced that on their, like, weird Nintendo app that they announced during the Switch Direct. Like they have this like basically little calendar app on like news story app that tells you like Nintendo and like
normal.
I was like,
come on.
Yeah. Now you can have a calendar on your phone, a breaking experience, cutting edge.
Come on, guys.
Anyway, we have one more kind of news story to go into before we close up, and that is tariffs.
Exciting stuff.
I'll keep the Switch gameplay on for this because it's relevant.
Okay, yeah, I mean, that probably is the biggest way it's going to affect things. Like, and this, I don't know how much this is going to affect things in Europe. I imagine, like, not at all, but it could. But, yeah, basically, people trying to get a Switch, like, they said that the reason the Switch was so expensive, because I think it was like $400, and they said that was kind of because they were expecting the tariffs. And I think it's kind of preliminary. It might go up even higher. So
isn't there the potential for a 24% tariff on Japanese imports to America?
They're still in talks about that now.
It seems to be changing every day, but that's the figure that's been bandied about, which is fucking massive.
Yeah, so currently I think the way the tariffs are working with Trump and that is he's reduced them all to 10% except China, which is still on. Oh no, actually, just a few days ago they had negotiations, and I think the China tariffs are gone down now to like maybe 30% or something like that temporarily for 90 days. But we're already seeing the effects on like the video game industry with tariffs. Xbox just put up the price of their consoles, and it was globally. And I think that's the worst part about this is it's not just going to affect America, it's going to affect the world because they're going to be looking to recoup the costs. Like they're going to spread it out because like if they're, say for example, they're making a console in China and the tariff is crazy 125% or whatever, like they can't more than double the price of the console. So they're going to like take that and spread it out around the world. Yeah. There's rumors that, and I'd say it's probably going to happen, Sony is going to increase. They actually did Sony did have an increase on the PlayStation last year, I think, but not in America. So now they're probably going to put that up. And it's, I think this is the first time ever in a generation that the price of consoles has increased as it's
rather than decreasing.
Yeah.
Surely now, maybe forgive my ignorance, but it won't affect digital purchases. It's only hardware and accessories.
That's right.
Anything that has to be imported, basically.
But just as you say there, Michael, like you've kind of hit the nail on the head there, because the big thing I think this is really going to affect is like physical games. Like I think this is it. Like this is probably going to be the end of physical games.
It's a good point.
They're probably going to turn into like LPs now. Like there's something that you only get if you're like a hardcore fan. And like everyone's just going to have to accept that no, we got to download because we don't have that luxury unless you love these games.
I just have to tell the story when you're saying about being a big fan buying a physical version. So when I was in Japan,
I know this story.
I bought like a physical version of the Japanese copies of Final Fantasy 6 and 7, and then like my wife was off doing something else, and I met her back up, and I was like, "Oh, look what I got!" And she's like, "Oh, cool. Can you play them back home?" And I'm like, "No, they're in Japanese." And she's like, "Why did you buy them?" And I'm like, no, she said, "Why did you buy them if you can't play them?" And I'm like, "Oh, I already own these." What the fuck? Why are you buying them then? And I was sort of like, I couldn't fully explain.
And you don't even have a PS1, do you, to play them on?
I think I do, but I don't have a SNES to play fucking Final Fantasy 6 on. But I'm like, no, they look
doesn't
cool.
matter. Exactly. Exactly.
And they were dirt cheap, so
everything here is dirt cheap so that's great.
I would highly imagine though the next gen.
You'd highly imagine it?
Yes. The next gen.
Are you high while you're imagining things?
I would highly expect the next gen of PlayStation and Xbox to have no disk drives anyway.
They were rumoring it. They were rumoring it before the PS5 came out. Anyway, they built up a big rumor pot.
But maybe they'll do like a standalone disk drive that you can plug in, because they would be like, everybody's collection would be obsolete basically otherwise.
Hey dude, imagine if like in the future you put the disc in your brain and that's how the games happened. Fuck.
Who says dude?
It's called VR.
Yeah. Okay. So I guess we can leave it there because that's a big story that we could go on about for ages. But Sean, before we finish, you wanted to talk a little bit about Summer Games Fest.
Yeah, well, it's coming around the corner. It's next month, I believe. And I was just kind of curious as to everyone's thoughts about what do they think will be shown or like by the big publishers and stuff, or is
it snuck up on us, didn't it?
Yeah, or also just if there's any game that we already know of that you're highly anticipating this year, yeah, throw it out.
Throw it up. I guess. Well, for me, it's tricky because a lot of the games that I'm really looking forward to aren't 100% confirmed for 2025, but like rumored for it. The one, if I was to pick one that I'm really looking forward to, is probably not a big surprise to anyone listening to this. It'd be Silent Hill F. I really like. I'm really liking the look of that game. Everything I hear about, despite everything about Konami, who like have dropped the ball a couple of times in recent years, it still looks really good. So I'm hoping it'll be a return to form. But I mean, if it doesn't come out in 2025, the one that we do know finally is coming out in 2025. Michael might echo this. Silksong is one that I'm really looking forward to.
Yeah, that's the big one for me, I think, as well. Now, is it confirmed?
I think it has been.
Like, I don't know, unless Team Cherry deliver me a letter.
They did say that it was confirmed for 2025, but sometimes, now it doesn't happen often, but sometimes games don't make their release date. So
sometimes people lie.
That'd be crazy if they didn't make it. Like.
But like Silksong is one of those things. It's almost like the Winds of Winter, where I'm like, take as long as you fucking want. It's been so long at this point that I'm like, I'm not even waiting anymore. It's just like it'll be a nice surprise when it comes.
Yeah.
So. And like I'm trying not to build it up too much because like Hollow Knight is like one of my top 5 favorite games, so I don't want to put that amount of expectation on Silksong. It could just be a cool Metroidvania. If that's the baseline for me for that. Like
for me,
Winds of Winter is a Game of Thrones novel, isn't it?
Yeah.
Or a Song of Ice and Fire, to be specific. Sorry, Sean, you were saying.
Thanks, Steve. For me, the game I'm most anticipating is actually coming out next month. It's called The Alters. I don't know if you've heard of it. It's by 11-Bit Studios, the same developer that made this War of Mine.
Oh, cool.
And, cool.
They actually, there's a demo out at the moment, or I might be gone now, but there was a demo that I played a few months ago. And it's basically, you're stranded on a distant planet. You were part of like a research expedition. You're the only one that survives. And you have to explore the planet for resources to then manage your mobile base. And you can, so it's got a lot going to it. It's got like a simulation mechanic and base building mechanic with the mobile base, but then also like kind of platformer, like traversal, looking
it looks
for
like
resources.
Death Stranding when you're on the planet, actually.
Like the landscapes look amazing. And I have to say the demo, like I fell in love with it straight away. It was like right up my alley. The kind of twist in the game, or the like core thing about it, is and this happens basically at the beginning, but you find it like you realize you need help to manage the base and do all this, but you're all alone. So you're able to clone yourself. And what happens is you go back in your timeline of your life, and where you made like big impactful decisions in your life, there's like strands that go off of that if you had made a different choice. And so you build out those strands with the machine in your mobile base to create a clone of yourself if you had taken that life path. So it's really cool. So you end up like the main character comes out with all these different personalities as clones, and they can help you around the base.
That reminds me of the film Moon. Have you seen Moon?
I fucking love Moon. Yeah. It's incredible.
Yeah, it's great.
So looking forward to that next month. One question I had for the Sony boys in the room is
Sony boys
with like Game Fest and that coming up. What do you think Sony's going to bring to the table? Because they've been like really quiet recently.
2 things come to mind. One's not Sony, actually. I just forgot to mention it. Is there's been lots of rumors about a Final Fantasy IX remake for years. So I hope that finally gets announced. Maybe it doesn't even exist. But the new Naughty Dog might get some gameplay.
Oh yeah,
what's it called?
Intergalactic. Yeah, that looks class.
Yeah. Personally, I'm really looking forward to hearing about the Gex trilogy. I know it's coming out in June 16th, so I just want to see more footage of that.
There you go.
Yeah, I was kind of hoping I'd get a laugh, but okay.
We're Gex joke too many times.
Yeah, okay. I imagine like just because like we're getting a constant glut of information, I don't think they're going to show too much new stuff. I think it's all just going to be, here's a game that we've already shown a trailer of, and here's more. So I imagine Ghost of Yotei is going to get a lot of presents, because that's coming out in October, so that would match up with their timelines. They probably have a lot of footage to show there.
I wonder if there'll be something new from Guerrilla, actually, because it's been a while since Horizon came out.
But didn't they just do the Lego one, or was that in conjunction with somebody else?
Oh, I have no idea.
The Lego Horizons, that's on Switch as well.
But yeah, they could, because they're like one of the premier Sony studios at the moment, so they could have something going. And of course, Gex is coming as well.
Gex. Sure, you laugh when Michael says it, but not when I say it. Thanks a lot, Sean.
But I expect you to say it, Steve. That's the thing. One other bit of Sony news. Just yesterday, I think it was announced that Jade Raymond, I think is her name, left Haven Studios, who are creating Fair games.
Who cares?
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Sorry.
No, I just
that was just a load of names I didn't.
Yeah, fair. The reason I mention it is just like Sony's obviously been going down a huge live service path. Yeah, we can hear you, Steve. And, sorry.
Can you hear me, Steve?
They've been going down a huge live service path, and they've not been having. Steve, can you hear us?
Yeah, I'm just joking.
Fuck's sake.
That was really well done.
Yeah,
actually.
It was. Yeah.
So, guys, I was saying Sony are going down the path of a load of live service games, and
nobody cares. It's fine.
Can we just wrap this fucking shit up?
Cool, that's it. Yeah.
Do we have any more stuff to talk about before we finish up? Anyone? No.
Just live it
Too
up.
Late. Okay, before we finish up, one last thing that I want to plug. So I have been writing a lot of reviews online recently on a website called GG. If you look up GG Game Tracker, you can find it. Just if you like the kind of style of banter that we have, I guess, like it's a good way to kind of see what we think of certain games. I'm under the name Stephen Hill 777, and I believe Michael also does them under the Cardboard Box Item, which should be easy to remember because it's the name of our channel.
I'm sorry, Steve, but Sean just started the Donkey Kong slideshow.
I figured out how to do the slideshow.
And I could see him slowly resizing it like some fucking MS Paint thing.
No, I can't believe we've gone this entire thing without Donkey Kong being on screen. And like, okay, we have to drag this out for another 10 minutes. Everyone, what's your favorite Kong from the Donkey Kong family? Go.
Whoever the naked one there a second ago was, that guy's... Gosh, did teeth? Oh my god! What is this from, Steve? Sorry, I don't know. That guy with the mustache.
So this is from the Donkey Kong TV series that had a very, very brief time on. I think it was Fox Kids. Actually, it was only like one series and then it just stopped. Or one season, sorry.
That's amazing. Well, what better note to end on than those horrifying images? Thanks everybody for listening, guys.
Yeah, thank you. And the next time you hear from us, we will have heard a lot of news from Summer of Game Fest. We'll have lots of news from that. And we'll see you next time, I guess.
Catch you soon. Bye-bye.
Good luck.